So this video is about research paper presentation in conference with the tips on PPT and sample examples. The presentation should include a short introduction, your hypothesis, a brief description of the methods that you have used in your research paper, tables, graphs, and related to your findings, and an interpretation of your data. So here the main important thing while you present your research paper is it should not be more than 10 minutes long, and see, 10 minutes is not much time, so you need to plan about 1 minute per slide. That's good. Now the trick is to give for a good research paper presentation is to filter your information down into a few bulleted lists, diagrams, tables, graphs. So don't rush while presenting your research paper. That's very crucial. Now, what is the first slide that you should include while preparing your PPT for research paper presentation? The first slide is the title slide. What is title slide? Title slide includes the title of your research paper itself firstly, and the name of the group members, class, university, or wherever you are presenting, the date of presentation. You will include all these details on the title slide. So naturally this slide is probably very important to mention the importance of that particular research paper presentation. So that is what you will do here. And coming to the second slide is your introduction. Typically introduction will be around 3 to 4 slides, and you have to explain why your work is interesting. It is why is your work is of so much importance, and you have to place the study in context. How does it relate to follow, like from the scientific literature on this subject? So that's one thing. Slides, use some pretty visuals should be very nice in introduction. All the 4 slides should contain visuals like photographs, like drawings, so that way you will impress the like we tell, first impression is the best impression. So your introduction 3 to 4 slides are very important to present your research paper in the excited way possible. So also please address the questions and clearly state your hypothesis, like maybe 4 points of your hypothesis is very important and crucial here. So the next slide is going to be your methods, your materials and methods, whatever you call. Typically 2 to 3 slides, so not more than that. So you have to clearly summarize. Remember the word summarize. Just to go on explaining bulk. Just summarize the design, show a picture of your methods, and justify why they are appropriate for addressing the hypothesis. What I mean is the questions you mentioned in your hypothesis. So show a picture of your lab if possible, which laboratory you have worked in, and what was the setup in the laboratory, and what kind of work you did there, what type of methods you followed. Show everything in very brief, and all these experimental design with sample sizes, number of replicates, sampling, so frequency of doing this and all, you have to present it in a very brief way. That way you can what we can say, your methodology is very clear to the audience who are listening to you. And do not get into so much detail on exact procedures you have used. So because presenting research paper in a conference or in any public place is something you need to hide so many things. So you should not be too elaborate. That way your research paper will be plagiarized otherwise. So you should be very careful. So you can also state what statistical tests you used to analyze your data, maybe 2 to 3 points. That's quite okay. So the next slide is your results. Now first you show your results very clearly. Maybe use some photographs or sketches. Show an interesting qualitative results, and you have to state the result very clearly. So you can also display the result in a graphical forms. So reminding the audience at the same time of your hypothesis questions, and also you have to state clearly how you are justifying your hypothesis. And please remember, when you are showing the results, you have to make your slides very clear in PPT. Now the whole PPT, you should be very simple, clean, and clearly labeled graphs with proper axis labels. Do not use light colors. What are the light colors which are not so visible in PPT, like yellow, light green, or pink in your figures? All these are very bad in your PPT, so avoid them. So you can also show the statistical tests on the slides by including some values and all. If you have multiple results, you can show them in very logical order. Which result came when? Next I have got this result, next I have got these results. So it is a good, it should be a good graph. Everything you should include briefly with a good presentation. So that is one thing. And now next, last is conclusion. Implications and conclusions may be typically 2 or 3 slides, probably not more than that. So you have to correctly interpret your results. After interpreting your results, you have to little bit, in conclusion also, you will interpret result in the shortest way possible. So address sources of error and methodological difficulties that you faced. So place your everything in context and draw implications from them. Give a conclusion of about 4 points. That's well and good. So last but not least is your acknowledgement. Don't forget to acknowledge. One slide is enough. So thank anyone who provided advice or assistance, or you can verbally thank your audience for their attention and tell them you'd be happy to answer their questions. That would be the last slide, and you throw a situation where audience will ask you questions on your research paper presentation. This would be the last slide. So it is as simple as that. How to present your research paper in a conference or your advisory committee, which happens in once in 6 months, or at an international or national conference. This is very, very crucial to present all of this which I have just mentioned, like from introduction to acknowledgement.